Okay, this is Algebra 1, test number 14 study guide. This is part number 2. We're picking up. This will be a short video with number 21. It says 5 over 7x minus 4 is equal to 5. All we're doing with these is we're solving. We're trying to get x equals all by itself. So undo your order of operations. You know, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, is how you simplify one side of an equation or an expression. But when you're moving stuff across the equal sign, you work backwards. So you work with addition and subtraction. Then you undo multiplication and division, then exponents followed by parentheses. So we have minus 4 that we need to undo. Remember, there's a left side and a right side to the equation. Undo minus 4 by adding it. If you add it there, add it here. 5 plus 4 is 9 on the right. This part's now gone. 5 over 7 times x is equal to 9. That says 5 over 7 times x. So undo times something by dividing. Remember, when you divide by a fraction, it's the same thing as multiplying by its reciprocal. So multiply by the reciprocal, which is just a fancy word that means to flip it. When you multiply that, it's going to cancel it out, and it's going to leave you with x. That's what you were trying to get. If you multiply the left by 7 over 5, do the same thing. On the right, multiply it by 7 over 5. Multiply straight across because we can't cross-cancel anything. 9 times 7 is going to be 63, and 1 times 5 is going to be 5. There's nothing that's going to cancel out there. 63 over 5. Number 22 says 16 is equal to negative d plus 6. Again, there's a left side and a right side. We're trying to get d by itself. We're trying to get it to say d is equal to. We don't have that right now. We have plus 6. Undo that by subtracting 6. If you do it there, do it here. 16 minus 6 is 10. It's equal to negative d. That's the same thing as negative 1 times d. Not d, but negative 1 times d. Undo that by dividing by negative 1. If you do it to the right, do it to the left. A positive divided by negative. Opposite signs is always negative, and 10 divided by 1 is simply 10. '23 says 32 minus 15 plus 8n is equal to 105. Before you move anything across, you always simplify one side. So add 32 and negative 15, or subtract 32 and 15 is probably a better way to say that. 32 minus 15 is going to be 17 plus 8n is equal to 105. Okay, we're trying to get n by itself, so undo this positive 17 by subtracting it. If you subtract it there, do it here. Okay, borrow from here, you get 9. 15 minus 7 is going to be 8. 9 minus 1 is going to be 8. So we got 88 on the right. This cancels out. 8n is equal to 88. In order to get n by itself, it says 8 times n, divide by 8. If you do it there, do it here. 88 divided by 8 is 11. Again, before you move anything across the equal sign, you always simplify one side. Distribute 5 times y is 5y, and 5 times 7 is plus 35. Now, you can't put 5y and 35 together because they're not like terms. So start undoing it now. Undo plus 35 by subtracting it. If you subtract it from the left, subtract 35 from the right. 65 minus 35 is 30. This cancels out. 5y equals 30. Undo 5 times something by dividing by 5. You do it to the left, do it to the right. Y equals 30 divided by 5 is 6. '25. 3 steps on this one. 3p over 6 plus 30 equals 42, or 3p divided by 6. Undo plus 30 first. In order to undo plus 30, subtract it. If you do it there, do it here. 42 minus 30 is going to be the number 12. So now you have 3p over 6 is equal to 12. Over 6 is the same thing as divided by 6. So cancel out divide by 6 by multiplying by 6. If you multiply the left by 6, do the same on the right. This will cancel out and leave you simply with 3 times p is equal to 12 times 6, which is 72. Last step, undo 3 times p by dividing by 3. If you do it to the left, do it to the right. P, since this cancels out, is equal to 3 goes into the number 7 twice, and there's 12 left over. 3 goes into the number 12 4 times. So p is equal to 24. 26, we still solve them for these equations. They're just simpler one-step equations. J minus 3 equals negative 1. Undo minus 3 by adding it. If you do it to the left side, do it to the right side. J is equal to negative 1 plus 3. If you have to, think of it this way, please. You start at negative 1, and it says plus 3. You're going to go 1, 2, 3. That's going to be J's value is 2. M plus a negative 3 is the same thing. This is the same thing as M minus 3 equals negative 12. Undo this minus 3 by adding 3. If you add it to the left, add it to the right. M equals, again, think of that number line if you have to, or think of the fact that they're opposite signs. Subtract them. 12 minus 3 is going to be the number 9. And since 12 is a higher absolute value and it's negative, 9 is going to be negative. And then finally, number 28 says negative 3 squared. Negative 3 is not being squared. 3 is being squared. So this means 3 times 3, which gives you 9, and then that little negative comes down in front of it to make it negative 9. If you read this negative 3 squared and you thought that it meant negative 3 times negative 3, this is getting you to understand it's not positive 9. It's only 3 squared, not negative 3 squared. And that's why the answer is negative 9.